Hello NYWCites, I am the administrator of the NYWC message board, Robert Lottie. I was not in attendance, but I was watching The Heat Is On IWTV as it happened, and a very good show it was. Of course, it was hosted by Man Bun Jesus and the Groovy Grizzly. The event kicks off with singles competition as we see Kay Blazer of the Liberation Proclamation, who came to the ring with both Dante Storm and Aaron Christensen, but it seemed like Blazer didn't want them at ringside. Blazer did battle with the top tier A1G. Good match these two young men had. Eventually, Blazer, I think, attempted to pin A1G with his feet on the ropes. The referee caught him, and also, I believe it was Aaron Christensen who had Blazer holding Blazer's feet down on the rope. The referee ejected both Christensen and Storm from ringside for the rest of the match. Blazer hit an Austin Aries elbow drop. Eventually, A1G comes back and he picks up the victory, spearing Kay Blazer. A1G defeats Kay Blazer at 4 minutes 58 seconds. Now, considering, I don't know if there's dissension amongst the Liberation Proclamation or if that's going to continue or not. Okay. Mr. Entertainment Brian Vitko, the commissioner of NYWC, was commentating this show, and I apologize for not getting the other gentleman's name who commentated all the show. But Vitko leaves, and he's replaced by nobody's better, Michael Mastretta, because in this next match we see Jaden Vallow do battle with the Asgardian Beast, Cade Lothbrock, accompanied to the ring by the aforementioned Mr. Entertainment Commissioner Brian Vitko. Vallow early on hit a moonsault onto the floor. Cade hit two overhead belly-belly suplexes. Cade hit a leg drop on the apron, which Undertaker's known for. Vallow came back with a missile drop kick off the top. I don't know if it was a mystical drop kick off the top rope, but a drop kick off the top rope. Vallow hit a handspan springboard cutter. Cade hit a Uranagi. Vallow had Cade up on his shoulders and dropped him with the Amityville Horror, which was a move ECW's Chris Jetty was known for. Cade eventually comes back with an F5 and hits Jaden with a Lariato. Cade Lothbrock defeats Jaden Vallow at 9 minutes 55 seconds. After the match, Man Bun Jesus and a Groovy Grizzly are sitting down literally in the ring, and you hear Michael Mastretta on commentary saying, "You're being unprofessional." And at one point, they're like meditating. They're saying, "Oh." And when Man Bun announced the next matchup, he said, instead of saying scheduled for one fall, he said scheduled for one Om. And the next matchup was kind of like we had the Greek god Papa Don, who loves the number 3, to battle with the cause of it all, Joey Conway. Early in the match, Papa Don put on a triangle choke on Conway. Conway hit a monkey flip. That's a move no one really uses anymore. Papa Don came back with the Total World Backbreaker, as the late Brian Crush Adams called the Tour of the Islands. Papa Don hits a second row uppercut. Conway with the backpack stunner. Papa Don countered the Dude Buster, or as the commentator called Conway's finisher, Count the Crows. Papa Don countered that with the Code Red powerbomb that Amazing Red is known for. Conway takes his coat that he wears to the ring, threw it at the referee, and while he couldn't see, Conway kicks Papa Don in the balls, and then he picks Papa Don up for a second try of the Dude Buster / Count the Crows. Cause of it all, Joey Conway defeats the Greek god Papa Don at 9 minutes 56 seconds. Our next matchup, we see a match that was supposed to happen last month at Trust No One. Sammy Chaos, who had Amity LeVay in her corner, challenged Kylie Alexa, the pretty prima donna, for the Starlet Championship. LeVay still has like some kind of a brace on her arm, but she didn't have her arm in a sling, so I guess she's recovering, healing from her injury. Alexa at one point hits a tornado DDT. Chaos gives Alexa a buckle bum. Alexa eventually was up in the corner on top of Chaos's shoulders as she rolled forward. I guess that's called the victory roll. Pretty much think of how Bret the Hitman Hart would pin the late Bam Bam Bigelow, but Alexa only held on to one of Chaos's legs. Kylie Alexa defeats Sami Chaos to retain the Starlet Championship at 7 minutes 6 seconds. After the match, Chaos and LeVay double team Kylie, and Kylie, I guess she's not 100% from her ankle. That she had like a boot on her foot last month at Trust No One, so I guess she's not 100% either, but still did the match, and she's still the Starlet Champion. At that point in time, we're set for another title match as Vinny Talata and Miami Mike Walker, post-game, accompanied the ring by Hellfire McGuire, were set to challenge the extricated Bam Sullivan and Mouse. But before Man Bun Jesus could make the introductions, Michael Mastretta takes the microphone, and he was about to introduce post-game, but Hellfire McGuire takes the microphone from Mastretta, and he says, normally I would do this, but I think Man Bun Jesus is doing a good job. And Man Bun introduced both teams for the match. Walker was in peril, taking punishment from both members of the extricated. Talata came back with the hot tag. Mouse hits the Diamond Dust on Talata. That's a move Masato Tanaka was known for. Eventually, Mastretta, I think something happened. I think Walker tried to pin... Walker tried to pin Mouse. Mouse kicked out. Walker almost went flying out of the ring. He was through the ropes. Mastretta hits Walker on the floor. Mouse pins Walker. As a result, the extricated defeat post-game to retain the Tag Team Championship at 12 minutes, 6 seconds. After the match, post-game got home. Mastretta hit some kind of a double-team move on him. And at that point, they had gone to intermission. Okay? The show resumes. We have the 03 champion, the Big O, who wasn't scheduled for the show, comes out, talks about that he's held that 03 championship for like over a year or close to a year, and that no one has taken it from him. But then all of a sudden, Brandon Watts comes out, chop blocks O in the leg, and attacks him, leaving him laying. Watts takes the microphone. He calls him by his real name. He says, "Adam, you're a dumbass." And Watts declared himself the Toxic King. And he left the ring with the 03 championship belt. O is trying to get up. He gets the microphone. He yells, "Watts!" And leaves the ring to go after Brandon. Now, and of course, they were already scheduled. It's still happening. Big O will take on Brandon Watts for the 03 championship at Hotter Than Hell this Saturday, August 30th in Lindenhurst, New York. Okay, but now we get back to the action as we have Sage Chance of the Slimeballs challenges Jorge La Bestia for the Fusion Championship. Jorge, of course, accompanied the ring by his manager, Johnny Brando. On 2 occasions, Brando interfered, grabbed Sage Chance's leg during the match. Jorge hits Sage with the snake eyes and a running boot to the face. Hits Sage with a Samoan drop. I know early in the going, Sage used a lot of speed tactics to get away from Jorge. At one point, Jorge hits Sage with the old Dino Bravo move. Then he hits... Jorge channels his inner abyss, hits the black hole slam. Sage hit a top rope splash. Isaiah Wolf, he's confronting Johnny Brando out on the floor. And I don't know if Sage felt distracted or not, but Jorge puts the iron claw on Sage Chance and gives him, I guess, the claw slam. Jorge La Bestia defeats Sage Chance to retain the Fusion Championship at 9 minutes 22 seconds. After the match, Sage and Isaiah are like in the ring and they shook hands before leaving the ring, so who knows? I mean, Isaiah Wolf was chasing Giorgio Lawrence for the Fusion belt, so maybe he's going to resume his chase for that Fusion title, but I'm not sure. All right. Next up, we were set to see the full-blooded Italians, representing the full-blooded Italians, Little Guido, CJ Bambino, and Nicky Primo, who were coming to the ring by Gary Reno and Big Guido, set to challenge the NYWC OGs, Spider, JT Kaysen, and Jay Red, but Jay Red apparently didn't make the show, but I don't know if they say they don't know what happened, so I don't know if they're building a mystery, as Sarah McLachlan would say. And replacing Jay Red in the match was Dickie Rods. And Rods took the microphone and he mentioned that the NYWC returns to the Sportatorium in Deer Park Saturday, September 27th. And Rods says that'll be mark his 25th anniversary in wrestling. He says, he said he was going to walk in as 1/3 of the Trios champions and as NYWC champion again. Eventually the match is on. Spider took off his Masquerade Mulcahy shirt and whatever pants he had on and unveiled Super Crazy gear that Super Crazy wore in the past, but the only difference was it said NYWC on the back. Spider hits a pop-up spine buster on CJ Bambino. CJ eventually hits a cutter on Spider. JT Kaysen gets tagged in, hits a blue thunder bomb on Bambino. Kaysen was then imperiled, taking punishment. Kaysen hit a flatliner on Bambino, got the tag. Spider eventually hit a suicide dive out on the floor. I know Dickie Rods got tagged in. CJ held Kaysen while Big Guido came up to the apron with that stickball stick. But Big Guido accidentally hits Bambino with it. Kaysen nails Bambino with a stunner. Scores the pinfall at 9 minutes, 8 seconds, enabling the OGs to defeat the FBI to become the new NYWC Trios champions. Alright, then it was main event time as we saw 1/3 of the newly crowned Trios champions, Dickie Rods, challenge big-time Tony Burma for the NYWC title. Burma had seemingly hurt his leg, and Rods was working on it. He crotched Burma on the ring post. He rammed his leg in the ring post. Rods put the figure 4 on Burma, and as they're face to face, they're having a slap fest with each other while Burma was still in the hold. He eventually reverses it. Rods gets to the ropes. Burma hit a spine buster. Rods hit the pocket rocket, aka the rocker dropper / famouser. Rods puts Burma in the sharpshooter, but then Mr. Entertainment Brian Vitko, who resumed his commentator duties after the Cade Lothbrock match, he says, "I'll be right back." And Vitko distracts Rods. Rods lets go of the sharpshooter, but I guess out from the crowd, Cade Lothbrock hits the ring. He attacks Rods from behind. The referee calls for the bell. The match was pretty much declared a no contest at 9 minutes, 54 seconds. 9 minutes, 54 seconds. Sorry. 9 minutes, 54 seconds. And Tony Burma was still the champion. Eventually, Rods goes out to the ring. Cade attacks Burma with a lariato. And then he takes Vitko's shovel, hits him in the head, busting him open. Billy of the Dirty Deeds, he tried to help out. Cade attacked him. Eventually, Spider, JT Kaysen, along with Dickie, they managed to get Cade to stop. Then Cade's up on that big stage, not in the ring, on that stage in Mulcahy's. I don't know couldn't quite hear what he said, but Burma went up to the stage after him, and I think Rods, Kaysen, and Spider were trying to hold him back. Eventually, Cade nails Burma with a DDT on that stage. Even owner Shane is trying to stop the chaos, but to no avail. Then Cade and Vidco are celebrating the damage they did. Then all of a sudden, I think Kaysen had the shovel, and he was going to go after, and Vidco was alone in the ring. He was going to nail Vidco with the shovel, but he managed to get out of dodge. And that's pretty much how the show ended, with Burma and the newly crowned Trios champions standing tall with their gold. Okay, and the show ended just before 6:30 p.m. I have to say, this was an enjoyable event, despite not being there. NYWC, if you do come back to Mulcahy's before the year is over, I hope it's not going to be on a Sunday, because I don't do Sunday shows during football season. But speaking of NYWC shows, NYWC will be running this Saturday night, August 30th, as they present Hotter Than Hell, in which they'll be debuting at the Fireman's Park Pavilion in Lindenhurst, New York. Matches already announced for this event. We have the top tier A1G taking on the specialist Giorgio Lawrence. We have in tag team action, not sure which two members of the Liberation Proclamation taking on returning the in-ring return of the Dirty Deeds, Johnny Malloy and Dirk Moore. Big O takes on Brandon Watts for the 03 championship. And Cade Lothbrock does battle with making his return from injury. I mean, he hasn't wrestled since Psycho Circus. Lindenhurst's own Mr. Main Event, Salvatore Savelli. Now for Hotter Than Hell, I would like to, hopefully Mambo and Jesus will be in action. Not sure about, I'm sure the other champions will be in action, like the Fusion champion Jorge La Bestia, Starlet champion Kylie Alexa, still at tag team champions, the Extricated, and still actually the newly crowned Trios champions, Dickie Rods, JT Kaysen, and Spider. Whew, okay. Apparently, due to what we saw at the end of this one, Cade Lothbrock clearly wants to be the NYWC champion again. Okay. Oh, well, like I said, Hotter Than Hell this Saturday, August 30th. I will be there. And both Jessica and Leanne make their return. They haven't been to an NYWC event since Friend or Foe back in late May. So I'm sure there'll be some, hopefully a great show awaits up our return. And I think I mentioned this previously. Well, NYWC will not only return home to the Sportatorium, not only will they kick off their fall season, but they return, like I said, back home to the Deer Park. It's going to be on Saturday night, September 27th, as they present Till I Collapse, which is the name of one of Eminem's songs, which should be quite a homecoming, shall we say. But I'm no word on what's happening for that show just yet. But can't wait to be back for Hotter Than Hell this Saturday night. And even though I was not there, I did notice on camera my fellow NYWCites, Sam, Lauren, Tommy, and Robin. I was told that they told me one of them said to me they had gotten a table for the show, and I noticed them on camera sitting front row. So I don't know if a lot of front row seats didn't get sold for this event, or if the crowd wasn't as big as the June show at Mulcahy's. So sorry. So I don't know if any money was lost on this one. But I understand, it's summertime, and usually that's a downtime for indie pro wrestling. But, I couldn't be there, but hopefully we'll, like I said, if there's another show at Mulcahy's before the year is out, I hope it's not going to be on a Sunday because I won't be there. But can't wait for Hotter Than Hell again this Saturday night. NYWC, 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 NYWC rules.